So now in this video we're going to look at when the 555 timer is wired in Astable mode. So we got LEDs here to see when the output is high or low. You can use one or the other or use different colors. It doesn't matter, but I like using red to indicate when the output's high and blue to indicate when the output's low. Gives a nice visual. Now we have them wired up to the output in the middle of them right there. And this is circuitry I've been doing quite a bit lately, so I'm just going to kind of rush through it. Here you can see when the output's high, it actually gets to about 4 volts. Probably not quite 5 volts, probably 4. But in case output's high, the red LED will light up. I'm using a lower value resistor there because the red LED just doesn't get as bright as the blue LED. And so a blue LED, when the output's low, then current can flow through, and the blue LED will light up. Again, I'm using a 1 kilo ohm resistor, 1000 ohms, because it just gets brighter even at lower currents. So now for the circuitry, we have to power the 555 timer. So that's pin 8 and pin 1. Pin 8 is VCC, pin 1 is ground, and you can see that right here. So I'll tilt this up a little bit. Top pin there, pin 8, going to the positive supply. The resistor is 1 pin down. And then pin number 1 there to the negative side of the supply. You can see pin 4 here is also to the positive side of the power supply. Pin 4 is the reset pin, and we do not want to reset this. If you give a low signal to pin 4, it's going to hold the output low no matter what else is going on. And so to avoid that, low is pretty close to ground. So to avoid going low, we just connect it to the most positive part of the circuit, the 5 volts right there. Which now brings us to the timing, which we have here, and it may look complicated, but it's really not too bad. So pin 6 and pin 2 don't let any current in or out of them. They're both just looking at the voltage at this node. That's all one connection there, which is the voltage of the capacitor. Pin 7 sometimes is connected to ground, and then sometimes it's just like a switch that's off. Nothing is flowing through it. So that's how it starts off when we apply power, assuming the capacitor is discharged. So this side is more positive. You can see that we got a path here towards negative when nothing is flowing through a 7. Nothing ever flows through 2 and 6. So in any case, current will flow through a 10 kilo ohm resistor and then has an easier path through the diode. This evens out the timing quite a bit and charges the capacitor. Pin 6. So that's the pin right here. You can see we got the jumper to 6. That's the threshold pin. And then pin 2, the trigger pin. The threshold pin, pin 6. That is waiting for the capacitor to charge to 2/3 supply voltage. And so it charges, the output's high. Once it hits 2/3 supply voltage, then pin 6 has pin 7 start discharging and the output goes low. The capacitor can't discharge through the diode there because diodes only let current go one way without going the other. So it discharges through the 10 kilo ohm resistor and goes to ground. Pin number 2, the trigger pin over there, when that senses that the capacitor is to 1/3 or less of the supply voltage, then it flips pin 7 back to not conducting at all and then sets the output high again so that the capacitor can start charging. So you're bouncing back and forth up to 2/3 supply voltage, down to 1/3 supply voltage, back and forth over and over again. And so it's really that simple. We have the resistor here to pin 7, second pin down on the right, and then it comes to another 10 kilo ohm resistor and the diode. And you should be able to tell that we got the gray stripe there, the cathode. Diodes, the cathodes are marked, and that's coming to the capacitor there, and pin 6, the threshold pin. 100 microfarad capacitor right there. So I like these values for the timing right there, and you can see we're getting somewhere close to about a second for both the high and the low right there. So now we could go with a lower value capacitor, it would go faster, or lower value resistors, that would go faster. We can also remove the diode, so now it has to charge through 2 resistors, so the output's going to be high for about twice as long as it is low. And you can do that. you could go with lower value resistors for faster timing too, or a larger capacitor for slower timing. You can balance them out. You probably have a lot more resistor values than capacitor values, so you'll most likely have to grab the capacitor that you got and then pick resistors that work well with that timing. Just don't go too low with the resistance, especially with this one, because sometimes you got a direct connection to ground. So a low value resistor, that'd be high current. Maybe too much for the resistor, maybe too much for the input right there. But in any case, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out one of the other videos that I'm posting to the screen. Click like, subscribe, the bell, all that. Donate to Patreon if you can. That helps out the most. But just watching videos helps out a ton. Thanks to everybody that does that. I will see you in the next video.